United States President Donald Trump has stirred a political firestorm once again, this time by threatening to take control of two of the most powerful Democratic strongholds in America, New York City and Washington, D.C. Well, his bold warning came during a high-stakes cabinet meeting at the White House, where he made it crystal clear. If the local leaders don't align with his administration's vision, the federal government could step in. So, let's talk about that. You know what Trump's biggest target right now is? New York City. And the name he has been focusing on is Zohran Mamdani, an Indian-origin Democratic socialist and current frontrunner in the city's mayoral race. Trump didn't hold back. He called Mamdani a communist, claiming that if he wins the election this November, the city will never be same again. Trump went so far as saying that we are not going to have a communist-run New York and hinted that the White House could use its power to intervene, although he didn't explain exactly how he's going to do that. Now, here's where it gets more intense. Trump labeled Mamdani not very capable and even accused him of wanting to take over private grocery chains. A swipe at Mamdani's criticism of billionaire grocery moguls. According to Trump, this is just more proof that the Democrats have gone too far. He also criticized the city's ranked choice voting system and implied that the current leadership under Mayor Eric Adams has actually failed. But the question is, why is Trump so obsessed with Mamdani? Let me help you with the answer. Because Mamdani, a state assemblyman from Queens, represents a growing wing of young, progressive Democrats who challenge the traditional party structure. His rise signals a potential political revolution in the country's most popular city, one that Trump sees as a threat. But it didn't stop with New York. Trump also turned this attention to Washington, D.C., the capital city of the United States. He claimed that city is plagued by crime and inefficiency and hinted that his administration is actively considering a federal takeover over the district. Trump said that his entire team is in constant contact with DC's current mayor and even declared, "We could run DC. We are thinking about doing it." Now, here's the kicker. Washington, D.C. has had self-governance since 1973 under the Home Rule Act, meaning that residents elect their own mayor and city council. But Congress, and by extension the federal government, still has the final say on the city's laws and budgets. So technically, a federal takeover is not impossible, but politically, it would be explosive. But in the meantime, critics argue that Trump's threats are more about power and bragging than the actual solution. In fact, the latest crime stats from the Metropolitan Police Department show violent crimes in DC is down by 25% from last year, and total crime is down by 8%. Yet, Trump insists that DC is out of control and is in need of flawless federal management. But you know what? This isn't the very first time when Trump has threatened to override local governments. Do you remember? Back in 2020, he made similar remarks during the Black Lives Matter protest, calling for federal action in Democratic-led cities. What's different now is that Trump is back in the office, and these kind of statements just energize his base, specifically those who believe that America's urban centers are actually falling. But what does this mean? Well, Trump's threats against Mamdani aren't just random outbursts. They are part of a larger strategy to portray Democratic leader as weak, radical, or even both, and to position himself as the only tough person to fix the cities that represent liberal America. Whether or not Trump actually follows through with any kind of takeover is kind of unclear. Legally, it would be extremely complicated, and politically, it's extremely dangerous. But one thing is clear, that he is using these cities and their mayors too as battleground in his war against the left.